Disclaimer: you may disagree with the ordering of weapons, but these are the top 10 best guns to use in COD Mobile Season 11. In COD Mobile World Championship, we saw EU pro players rocking the Bison, but I personally don't think very highly of it. First off, hitbox is bad with legs doing 0.8 times damage, which is usually 0.9 times on SMGs, and due to this we are forced to aim above the waist to get good time to kill. 276 milliseconds time to kill in this range isn't bad, but we will be facing against guns like FENNEC or Switchblade, which have faster potential time to kill, which will make us lose gunfights with Bison. And achieving 276 milliseconds time to kill in this range isn't always possible, as one jump shot and we hit leg shots. And if the enemy does advanced movement, then 368 milliseconds time to kill will be common, which is very slow for playing aggressive. This build is used for playing aggressive, and the stats are looking good with fast ADS movement, which helps playing aggressive, huge mag size which can win versus 5 enemies and still have pending bullets, and both ADS speed and sprint to fire is on the faster side. Fire rate is on the slow side for SMGs, but it is still fine for playing aggressive. And apart from hitbox, Bison is a really good weapon, why it gets a mention in top 10. One unique advantage of Bison is really good bullet spread at range, similar to assault rifles, and the recoil, which is very easy to beam, and we can simply do just pull down to have no recoil at any range. This is why Bison is usually used for flex or wolf style playstyle, as opposed to using it for aggressive playstyle, as the range performance on Bison is much better than SMGs like FENNEC or Switchblade. You can get more range by using this build, and we have 41 meters of effective range with slight changes to mobility and ADS movement, but we still get bad hitbox, which is a con, as we will be challenging assault rifles a lot, and they have the same damage as base to the legs, which will give them consistent time to kill. But with Bison we lose that gunfight, as hitting legs will give us slow time to kill at range. This is why large caliber ammo is a usable attachment. It gives worse range, why it isn't suitable for playing with the aggressive build, but when used with marksman we have 35 meters of effective range with improved time to kill, which will be consistent at all ranges thanks to the good hitbox, while legs don't do lower damage, and we still have potential for fast time to kill hitting around chest area, and change in stats is minimal, and we still maintain good ADS movement and mobility for challenging close range gunfights if needed. This is why Bison for competitive I wouldn't recommend, but it is still a viable weapon to use in ranked, and I personally would use large caliber ammo. And now is a good time to leave a like and comment something nice to help support the video. Don't let the ranking fool you. Switchblade is one of the best close range SMGs we can use this season, and a top 6 weapon if I were to rank guns for playing competitive. But for ranked, flex or versatile guns do better, which puts Switchblade as a disadvantage, and Switchblade does amazing for small maps like Summit or inside a Hardpoint, but it struggles on maps with more longer ranges. Why Switchblade is mentioned lower, as ranked is filled with campers and people trying to beam at range, which gives Switchblade limited usage and utility. Commonly range builds is used for making Switchblade versatile, and we have very good time to kill in approximately 19 meters range, and time to kill then falls off and Switchblade is still usable at mid-range, but we are more prone to losing gunfights after 19 meters. Hitbox on Switchblade is bad, as both stomach and legs do lower damage, but this isn't a huge problem, as still 12.5 meters we need one shot to upper arm for 4-shot kill, and other shots can be on legs, which is possible to achieve at times, as we need to aim around chest area and we have 213 milliseconds time to kill in close range, but it can be inconsistent since chest area is really small compared to stomach and legs, and the fire rate is so fast that if we start shooting around stomach area, then we may hit all 5 shots on the lower body and miss out on getting the 4-shot kill. But 284 milliseconds time to kill is still competitive in close range, and till 18.8 meters we need to hit 1 shot to lower arm for the 284 milliseconds time to kill, which is doable but may be inconsistent. This inconsistency is one reason I personally recommend to use other weapons, as pro players may make this gun look good, but for casual players the slow time to kill can make us lose gunfights at times. Other stats look good with fast fire rate, which helps in playing aggressive, as missing shots is less punishing, and mobility is also fast with ADS movement being good for close range, and we get 41 bullets in mag, which gives us 2.9 seconds of spray duration, but the fast reload speed helps us to keep on pushing enemies and continue playing aggressive. Have fast spread in close range is also good, and recoil pattern may seem a bit challenging, but it is simple to beam after some practice, which makes Switchblade the complete package when it comes to playing aggressive. The only con would be bullet bullet spread, which is kind of bad and may make us lose mid-range gunfights, while most players use tactical suppressor to improve the bullet spread, but it is barely any improvement practically, and range is also barely changed, and we still have 25 meters of effective range, which is good enough, so tactical suppressor build is also usable. Switchblade was the most used SMG in COD Mobile World Championship, and I would have ranked it higher if I were to make a best guns list for competitive, but for ranked we still have better guns to choose from. Alternatively, we can use Lapa. I had done a poll where I asked people what would they use between Lapa and Switchblade, and while I do agree Lapa is inferior in terms of stats, there are some things I can do with Lapa which I simply cannot do on the Switchblade, while Lapa should get a mention according to me. The only glaring con of Lapa is bullet speed, for which we need to use range of barrel, and it improves the bullet speed and makes it better than AS Val, but it makes ADS movement slower, which is still fast enough for playing aggressive, and Lapa has other advantages like fastest reload speed for full auto guns, which makes it among the best for pushing enemies and playing aggressive, and it has good bullet spread for an aggressive weapon with beam recall, much easier to beam compared to Switchblade, which makes Lapa not only good for playing aggressive but to use as a versatile weapon, and Lapa is more versatile than Switchblade if you ask me, and I will cover Lapa versus Switchblade in depth in a separate comparison video. MX9 is also mentioned for Switchblade alternative, but recall pattern is hard for most people to use it well, while Switchblade is preferred over it. For more analysis and best Gunsmith builds, you can join our Discord server. Chopper is underrated. You probably don't see many choppers being used in ranked because there is very little awareness that there are other good LMGs to use apart from Holger 26. But what I like about Chopper is that it can be played as an aggressive LMG, all thanks to the range profile. The 4-shot range is only 16 meters, which isn't worth range boosting as there are other LMGs which have better 4-shot range which we can use instead. And then we have infinite 5-shot kill range afterwards, which makes range boosting completely pointless, so we can boost other stats like mobility and bullet spread. Chopper features LMG cons like slower ADS movement or slower reload speed for example, but ADS speed is on the faster side for LMGs and even faster than meta LMGs like Holger 26, and fire rate is among the fastest, even faster than Hades with rapid fire barrel, but only by a bit, and fire rate is same as S36, and the bullet spread at range is among the best for LMGs, and it is like a laser beam, and if we can get behind a head glitch, the good bullet spread along with the simple recall pattern which we can beam at range makes Chopper play like we are a human sentry. But I personally find Chopper more fun as an aggressive LMG, and we can play around the LMG cons like slower sprint to fire by cancelling it, so sprint to fire is 0 milliseconds, or get around the slower ADS movement by doing jump shots, which makes us a harder target to hit. Another advantage is iron sights, as we don't get any iron sights. It gives us a clean view of the enemy, which makes being accurate with Chopper a bit more easier. The only other gun where we have iron sights like this is on Hades, otherwise on other LMGs like S36 I need to use red dot, which wastes an attachment slot. Disable perk is also an advantage on LMGs as we can use it to make enemy movement slower, which helps with easier tracking, and you can use pinpoint perk to get better aim assist, and with the slower enemy movement and improved aim assist we get magnetic aim, and it improves our accuracy further. But commonly FMG is used for better wall bangs. Some might say Cygnoux is wrong and Chopper isn't a good LMG because other content creators don't mention about it, or because Chopper isn't used that much in ranked, but the casual players are looking at videos like this to decide which guns to use in that season. Why it is my duty to mention the good guns without caring about popularity or opinions. I don't believe just because a certain weapon isn't used much it means the weapon is bad. It simply shows the weapon isn't popular enough. Why videos like this are important for building awareness about other good guns so people don't just keep on abusing meta like Holger 26. Right now we have amazing weapons like KN44 which isn't popular but it can be used instead of meta weapons like M16 or Kilo 141. It is my job as an analyst to show what all good weapons we can use in that season. Doesn't matter if the weapon is popular or if the other content creators agree with me. Chopper is good, feel free to use it, and I use this build. I will outright call it. FENNEC is the new aggressive SMG meta. I have done a dedicated analysis on the same if you want to give it a watch, but FENNEC suffers the same issues of Switchblade. The rank scenario is such a way that against a good team which is holding angles, playing passive and preferring to camp more, FENNEC completely blunders against them. And FENNEC is good for small maps like Summit, and it can play mid-range on maps like Firing Range, but it starts to lose against other guns at mid-range, which is why a flex or versatile weapon will be preferred to use use over an aggressive SMG like FENNEC practically, as there is limited usage and utility for FENNEC overall. But in terms of stats, FENNEC has fast 216 milliseconds stamina kill in close range, which is easier to get than Switchblade, as we need to hit 2 shots above the waist, which is a larger area to aim at, making this faster stamina kill pretty consistent. But effective range caps out to 24 meters, and we will start losing gunfights after 18 meters. Commonly range is boosted, and we get 17 meters of really good tactical range, and we can easily use FENNEC at mid-range till 25 meters, which makes FENNEC more versatile than Switchblade, as we get faster tactical over longer range with a better hitbox. But FENNEC does have cons, mainly the recoil, which is easier controlled by doing just pull down, but the vertical recoil goes upwards very fast, which is harder to be accurate with compared to a moderate firing SMG like LAPA. Another con is flinch, which is highest for SMGs, and FENNEC is one of the few guns I recommend using toughness perk. Apart from these, FENNEC has the second fastest fire rate in the game, which makes missing shots very less punishing, and we maintain good mobility with fast reload speeds to keep on pushing enemies and play aggressive without worries. Hip fast spread is also one of the best for SMGs, and we use the laser to improve it further, and the laser also helps make sprint to fire better, as FENNEC has the slowest sprint to fire among SMGs. Bullet spread is also good for an aggressive SMG, and we can play mid-range without needing to boost bullet spread further. FENNEC is a top tier SMG this season, and if I were to rank for competitive, FENNEC would have been a top 5 weapon, but for ranked I would use other guns over FENNEC, and I would recommend FENNEC for aggressive players who want some versatility to challenge mid-range at times. Alternate mention: MAC-10. Personally, I don't think MAC-10 beats the FENNEC nor the Switchblade in overall performance, but it is a viable SMG to use for playing aggressive and for only playing aggressive. One advantage of MAC-10 is the consistent tactical, as we can hit all shots to legs and still get good tactical even at 22 meters. But the problem is it has the worst bullet spread in the game, which makes taking mid-range fights not worth it, as we tend to lose them against other guns. This build is used for playing aggressive, and it features the fastest fire rate in the game with fastest mobility and ADS movement speeds, with larger max size than FENNEC while still maintaining fast reload speeds for playing aggressive. Recoil is of similar difficulty as FENNEC, so MAC-10 can be used as a FENNEC alternative if you want, but FENNEC can do everything MAC-10 can, while being more versatile, which is why I recommend using FENNEC over MAC-10. And a lot of time and research was spent on this analysis, so do support by sharing this video on your social media. But if you thought FENNEC was good for an aggressive weapon which we could use for playing versatile, let me introduce you to M13. Yes, M13. People did not believe me when I said M13 is a top weapon to use for playing versatile, and it seems to have been forgotten, as you don't see M13 being mentioned in other top 5 or top 10 lists anymore. But if you built M13 specifically for flex playstyle, then M13 is still one of the best. This is FENNEC, right? 24 meters of 3 to 4 milliseconds stamina kill. Well, here is M13 with 26 meters of really good stamina kill, which is consistent as legs don't do low damage, and effective range is still 42 meters, and we maintain good tactical within this range. Looking at other stats, fire rate is 3rd fastest after MAC-10 and FENNEC, and we maintain good mobility and reload speeds for playing aggressive. ADS speed is really fast, even faster than SMGs, and I use Skulker perk to make ADS movement even faster, and I play it like I'm using an SMG but with the capability of even challenging long range, no worries. Flinch is also not too bad, better than FENNEC, and even better than LMGs like Holger 26. Since M13 is an assault rifle, bullet spread is also good to play within the effective range, and recoil is easy. Similar difficulty as FENNEC, as it is just vertical recoil, and we can beam it by doing just pull down. For better recoil, operator grip can be used, and the only con is slow reload speed, which is still fast for playing aggressive. The only con would be bullet speed, which is on the faster side, faster than guns like EM2, Odin, ASVAL, and LAPA, and only slower than Craig 6. But bullet speed is a con, as it will give slow tactical at range, but thanks to the fast fire rate, we can still challenge long range fights and win them pretty consistently. The only problem with M13 is people tend to build it with heavy barrel and 60 mag, which ruins the mobility, and we need to play it like we're using Kilo 141, and I personally find that pointless, as we can use Kilo instead for that playstyle. But if we build M13 for versatility, then it is the overall best in this category. Tell me another gun which has SMG like mobility and fast fire rate with assault rifle like bullet spread and range. There is only M13. Why play this weapon to its strengths, and it is better than FENNEC. FENNEC, and maybe even a top 5 gun. But for people who don't like using M13, there is Peacekeeper. Now, I don't think Peacekeeper is better than the previously mentioned guns, but it is an alternative to M13 for the flex playstyle. It does have lesser range than M13 with effective range being 34 meters, but it does have slightly faster tactical in comparison. But what makes Peacekeeper good is the easy to beam recoil with good bullet spread to laser at range, and the low flinch helps win long range gunfights, even against meta guns like Holger 26. It also has the fastest reload speed for assault rifles, which is even faster than SMGs like FENNEC. Mobility is also good and usable for playing aggressive when needed, and unlike M13, which is an aggressive weapon that we use for playing at range, Peacekeeper is a versatile weapon that we use for playing aggressive when needed. There's a difference. M13 and Peacekeeper may fit a similar role, but their utility is different, and for more ADS movement we can use this and also use Skulker perk. This video has become very long, so watch the top 5 weapons here, and leave a like and share this video to help support it. I will see you in the top 5 video next.